What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Michael.
I'm Avery.
Hey, and I'm Chandler. Back at
Yeah.
it.
Back at it again. Normally, whenever you see the three of us together, it usually means one thing. We're talking about wrestling. In particular, uh, we're talking about WrestleMania 36. What was the slogan they said? The event that was too big for just one night.
Too big for just one night, aka they couldn't get everybody on the same schedule, so they had to do a lot of pre-taping and recording.
Yeah. This was wild to me. Again, for as a quick backstory for people who are joining us new, I am just coming back to wrestling. I know Chandler and Avery have been on it since, I guess you guys have never really left, right?
I mean, I guess I've been consistent with it since at least about 2016 now.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Yeah. There was like that time when I was in college where I left, and then towards the tail end of my college years, I was like, you know what? It's still pretty cool to get back into it. So, yeah.
So these guys are the experts. I will be asking them questions for sure, just in terms of storylines and who got pops and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. For me, off the bat, I will say, so we know WrestleMania 36 was originally going to be in Raymond James Stadium where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, from what I heard, Vince wanted to keep it there for as long as he could, but I guess Florida essentially said, nah, bro, you're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame Florida for doing that. All them people, that's especially with the times that we're in right now, it's too high of a risk for that virus to spread even quicker, just like that.
Yeah.
Get it that, it was a lot of money lost and stuff, but I mean, you just got to think more about the people and the fans when it comes to that time, man.
Yeah. So they moved it to the Performance Center in Orlando.
Yeah, which they've been doing shows from there for a couple of weeks now.
Right. And so nobody's in the audience. It's just essentially the performers and the essential camera crew that you need.
Yeah.
So guys, let me get your thoughts. Chandler, let's start with you. Like, what were your overall thoughts of this WrestleMania 36?
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, as a pure wrestling fan, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the matches, the storytelling. It was really cool, and it was funny because me and Avery, like over the weekend, we kind of talked about this. Just like we were interested to see, since they had the benefit of it being a taped show, all the cool things that they could do. Different camera angles, things like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed just the things that they used, the way the stories that were told. I'm just trying to think of matches off the top of my head. Obviously, we'll go deeper in matches, but some of my favorite matches was obviously that Barnyard match with AJ and Undertaker. Had Biker Taker back. I am a fan of Biker Taker. Right? I don't know about a lot of people don't like Biker Taker. A lot of people, like the Dead Man and everything. Love the Dead Man, but Biker Taker was pretty cool. That's why I became a wrestling fan. So I love the fact that he was back in that match. Love the fact that he got Gallows and Anderson involved in it. And then ultimately, spoiler alert for everybody, obviously Undertaker won and everything. But yeah, I enjoyed that as far as Saturday's show. On Sunday, I enjoyed the Rhea and Charlotte match. Would have liked a different outcome in it probably, but we'll see kind of what WWE does with Charlotte on NXT now and everything. And yeah, everything else, all the other matches were solid. I'm glad Alistair and Bobby got a chance to compete at WrestleMania. They're two really hard workers. They're really good at their crafts, and it was really cool to see the both of them on the show of shows. And obviously, everybody's probably been talking about that Firefly Funhouse match with Cena and Bray. That was great, excellent storytelling. Just the way they did it. The different because what I've seen is like a lot of people, they're saying that, if you're not a pure wrestling fan, you probably were like, what's going on? But it wasn't for the exactly. That's the thing. It was like
I was like, what am I watching? What is this?
Exactly, but I feel like WWE did that for like the people who have been following Bray's career and everything since that loss that he had against John Cena in 2014. And I feel like that's why they did it, to show, okay, this is the effect that it had. It created the Fiend, and now the Fiend is ready to kind of run wild. And in a way, in my opinion, the Fiend coming out on top, in a way, just a tad bit, kind of covered up the fact that, he got squashed by Goldberg,
I'm still mad at that, man.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, glad Drew finally got his moment in the sun. You just wish, obviously he would have been able to do it in front of, a big audience and everything at Raymond James Stadium. But it was still cool to see him finally grab that brass ring. And it was just a really great show. I mean, we'll go deeper into it, but those were just kind of some of my highlights and takeaways from the show. Overall, if we talking 5 stars, out of 5 stars, I'll probably give it a 4. When you include the totality of both nights, I'll give it about a 4 out of 5. It was a really good show. Yeah.
Avery, what you got, Avery?
I enjoyed the show both nights. I feel like I might have enjoyed show 1 that Saturday night a little bit better than Sunday. Just looking at overall, this really makes me realize, and I hope WWE realizes this too. Doing these like pre-taped matches, making it cinematic how they do. I'm not saying this has to be an every single night thing, but this is definitely something they need to do more often now. I mean, WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment. Of course, you have these great athletes, but the main thing WWE has that a lot of these other, companies don't is the production value that they have. Bruh, keep on making matches like the Firefly Funhouse and like the Boneyard match and stuff like that. I feel like we do have to give credit to Matt Hardy, most known Broken Matt Hardy or Woken Matt Hardy, whatever. He was one of the first people to bring these type of cinematic matches, pre-tape, making it like a movie-based type thing, and bringing it to big shows like this. Shout out to Lucha Underground too, because they do the same thing as well. I see people talk about that too. But I enjoyed the matches. First night, my favorite match might have been the ladder match between Jimmy Uso. I think it was Jimmy Uso, John Morrison, and Kofi Kingston. Them boys tore the house down. Like, I almost wish that, like, the tag team titles are important, really. But I mean, I guess just being them, I almost kind of wish it was for like a singles titles match. Like, I would have loved if that would have been for like the Intercontinental Championship or even the WWE Championship. I enjoyed that match. I'm kind of upset because what's her name? Who's Asuka's partner? Is it Kairi Sane?
Yeah, Kairi. Yeah,
Kairi Sane. She's literally the Princess Pirate. Her outfit was dope and amazing because that's what she usually does. I just hate that she couldn't get like a full, even like some type of made up ship to come out on or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think she might be leaving the company, so that's why they dropped the titles and stuff like that. So I'm hoping Asuka can build back up into singles competition. Overall, I was happy I was surprised that Braun won the WWE Universal Championship. Because at first I was saying like Goldberg's going to squash him. Braun's only in this thing as punishment for some wild stuff he had said on Twitter a couple weeks ago. But I guess Goldberg was just like, hey, man, I'm part-timer. We're hardly even doing this now. Let me just go ahead and drop this belt. Boom, give it to Braun. A lot of people say this is a couple years too late. But you know what? Whatever. Braun Universal Championship. And which makes me realize he's only one title away from Grand Slam champion. Because I think the only title he hasn't won is the U.S. title. He's won this might be one of the best years Braun's ever had because he's won the Intercontinental Championship this year. He lost it, but then he goes right back to winning the Universal Championship. He's been tag team champion a couple times already. It's just wild. Overall, night 1 was great. Gronk hosting is still random, but I guess they're just slowly building him in to, be around WWE superstars and, work with others. Him and Mojo Rawley were hilarious, especially when Archer came into place. Night 2 was good. I honestly, I was really hoping to feel more from the Edge and Randy Orton match. I was like, it went on too long. I think it was over 30-something minutes.
It was over 40 minutes. I heard today it was the second longest WrestleMania match ever, and I'm assuming that's second to the Iron Man match.
It did not need to be.
Yeah, it did not need to be that long. But we'll get more into that. Michael, what you thought about the night?
So a couple takeaways. I never valued the importance of a crowd until we didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's twofold. In the positive, you really hear those chops and those slaps and those kicks to the face. I mean, everything just popped because there weren't people there to dissipate that sound at all. So you heard everything, and you could hear them sell it. One thing that I really liked is hearing some of the dialogue between the wrestlers when they talk, because a lot of times you can't hear that over a crowd. But it was really cool to hear them talk between each other, like with Bayley and Sasha Banks. When Bayley accidentally hit Sasha, she was like, "Yo, let's talk about this afterwards." That's a kind of a nice little aside that you necessarily wouldn't get,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of way to tell the story. Also with Kevin Owens, and who did Kevin Owens face?
Seth Rollins. That was a good match.
That was a real good match. Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. You kind of heard the back and forth between them, which you normally wouldn't hear if you had a large crowd. So just the absence of people was interesting. I really give it off to people the way they were selling their moves. Like some of those women are like, "Oh, this is this real?" They were really in pain and they were selling these moves. It was really well done by everybody. The athleticism was crazy. To me, my best match, or the one I enjoyed the most, is probably that ladder match for sure. But also the two singles women's championship matches were really good. Uh, Becky Lynch versus
Shayna.
Shayna.
Shayna
Shayna
Baszler.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. And then also Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair were both really good matches as well. Um, I I think the most entertaining probably were the Boneyard match and the Funhouse match, just because I didn't know what this was. It was cool the way, and I agree with Avery. There is something to pre-taping these matches and having high production values because it allows you to really cut and make it like a movie. Because that, and I've seen it online, so I won't say that I came up with this idea, but the Boneyard match really looked like a a a showdown in the Wild Wild West almost between two guys. Like it had an old West feel to it, and also had a horror feel to it. That was great. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like a 3.5 or something out of 5. It's it was they did the best they could without having an audience, but you could definitely tell that the WWE is a big corporation and that there's a bunch of stuff they already had in motion. Like I don't think you needed Gronk. I don't think he added anything personally.
Nah.
It would have been better if a crowd had already been there, but I guess since they had already hyped it up and done whatever, they were like, let's go ahead and put him in the show. I don't think it added having him here with nobody in the stadium. Um, but yeah, other than that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and start it with night one, the kickoff show. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch this match, but I know it's probably good. It was Cesaro versus Drew Gulak. I know Cesaro. I praise Cesaro all the time. He definitely needs a big title push. Drew Gulak's a good wrestler too. Did y'all watch this? What y'all think about the match?
Cesaro, he did an airplane spin, I believe, and he did it without any arms. He just put Drew Gulak on his neck and spun him around several times without using his arms, because I guess they were selling the fact that Gulak was going after one of his arms and kind of injured him so much that he couldn't do a lot of his moves. So he put him up on his shoulders, spun him around. It was a cool match.
Yeah. Chandler?
I was like you, Abe. I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot of it, but Cesaro, he's great. He's a great worker, like you say. He deserves a big title push soon. Drew, he's really good. I'm sure they put on a great match and everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time we see them fight against each other because we know what happened later on. Cesaro, Shinsuke had backed up Sami Zayn while he was facing Daniel Bryan for the championship match. They probably may push that whole feud all the way to SummerSlam, so we'll probably be able to see it again. Second match, I guess you say this is now the opening of the show. Women's Tag Team Champ.
Before that, though, I want to give a shout out to I guess it's Corey Graves and Rosenberg. Mm-hmm. So you guys didn't watch the pre-show stuff, right? Or not really?
Oh, you know what? Never mind. The thing I saw about that, I saw Stephanie McMahon talk, and I saw the WrestleMania intro that they did. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So yeah, before that happened, it was Corey Graves and Rosenberg, I guess some commentators. And shout out to those boys for putting on a clinic in terms of talking about a program for essentially what we're doing. And I was like, oh, these are professionals. Because they talked for an hour and kept me interested with only having one match in the pre-show. They did a good job of just keeping me hyped for all the matches that were coming up. Because I would assume if it had been in Raymond James Stadium, there probably would have been more pre-show matches for them to talk about. But they only had that one pre-show match, and then essentially 40 minutes of time to fill with just talking. And I thought they did a good job. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, true. Just to speak about a little bit more pre-show stuff. Did y'all see like the WrestleMania intro that they did, like with the graphics and the ships and
Yeah.
all that stuff? That was so crazy, and I thought it was so funny how they was kind of being meta with it, like not just running it like normal, like they had like the bad impersonation of Captain Jack talking and stuff like that. I thought that was funny.
Called out the bad impersonation, yeah.
Yeah. And for some reason now I kind of want to see like a Pirates of the Caribbean or like a 300 style version of like wrestlers fighting or something. That kind of had me hyped. And I didn't realize too, a lot of African American legends have sung like for the opening of WrestleMania shows.
I didn't realize that either. Yeah, that was crazy. Like it was Aretha, John
Ray Charles, John Legend, Fantasia, Boys to Men, the Harlem Boys Choir. Who else? Little Richard. I didn't even realize Little Richard had sung before. What? Then they had Willie Nelson too, I think.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of touched my heart.
Yeah, they can take the title from Kofi, but I guess we can sing for him, so that's fine.
How is that?
Ooh, we can't have it all. We just can't have it all. All right, but anyway, back to the show. Women's Tag Team Championship. We all happy with the results? What y'all think of the match?
That was the Ibuki Warriors, right? Versus
Alexa Bliss and
Nikki, yeah.
I thought it was a nice work match. To me, it looked interesting. The athleticism that those women showed was incredible. Them doing moves off the off the ropes and stuff was really great. I thought it was good.
Chandler?
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm glad Alexa and Nikki finally got the tag titles and everything. I think they won it last year maybe, but they may have been working as heels then, and now they're kind of more geared towards being faces and everything. So I like it. I don't know why, but Nikki Cross, like, she just really makes me smile. Like, her character and everything is just really the friendship between her and Alexa is really cool. And I just hope WWE kind of rides that out for a long time because they have great chemistry together outside of the ring and then inside of the ring. So yeah, hopefully they just kind of ride them out, and hopefully Asuka and Kairi Sane, they were kind of starting to bring relevance to the women's tag team titles a tad bit, but hopefully now with Alexa and Nikki, that relevance will just kind of keep growing because, like I said, they are a really good tag team and they have great chemistry. Yeah, so I like the match.
Yeah, I think this match was really to me. This might have been the best I've seen Nikki Cross in a match before. I think they were just like, we want Nikki to like really hold it down. Some of the things that she were doing. Kairi Sane and Asuka, they were great already. I feel like Alexa Bliss's in-ring skills have gotten better as well too. I think they'll probably at least have these titles, especially due to the circumstances. They're gonna have these titles for a while because honestly, come women tag team wise, they're not a whole bunch out there that's really, I guess, the longevity that Nikki and Alexa have had. So yeah, that was fine. A match I really wasn't invested in. Next, King Corbin versus Elias.
Yeah, I was not invested in that one.
They kept showing off the fact that I guess Elias doing his shtick of playing the guitar as he does, and people usually boo him or whatever. But King Corbin interrupted him and knocked him off that big tower. And I don't know the way they shot it. It didn't. Because they were trying to make it seem like it was such a big fall for him to fall from that height. The way it was shot, it didn't seem as tall as they wanted it to appear to me. So it didn't hit me as much because it didn't seem like he fell from that much of a height.
Right. Jen?
It was just kind of it was just a match on the card. Yeah, I wasn't really that much invested in it. Props King Corbin. He's really when the audience is there, he really does work, as a heel fantastically and everything. Elias, he's really great and everything. But as far as like the match goes, I wasn't really that into that one. I think, it was just kind of there to get you ready for what's coming next.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. I wasn't that invested in this match. I felt like Elias being dropped from that the tall thing like the week of didn't really contribute to this match at all, because they were just like, oh, Elias is so hurt. Like, can he not? Is he so hurt that he can't even make the match? But he's in pain, but he still wrestles anyway. I mean, it's cool that he defeated Corbin, but this to me just seemed like a regular match you would see on like SmackDown or something, not really WrestleMania worthy. Okay, but after that, we got the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. What y'all got?
This was great. Although I gotta say, what happened to Ronda Rousey? Is she gone now?
I mean, I don't know. I think the storyline is going to be somehow Becky drops the belt to Shayna, Ronda comes back, and now that's the feud that's like over the belt. It's Shayna versus Ronda. Now I can see them building that up for a while to all the way to next WrestleMania, because that's basically what that should be. But yeah, I don't know where Ronda's at, but continue, Michael.
Yeah, it was just, I like the idea, and it's always interesting to see these athletes from different disciplines come in and work in wrestling entertainment, because we're at this point now where we know wrestling necessarily all the punches and hits aren't necessarily full force, but they're taken in a way that you're still feeling that blow, but you're not out to incapacitate somebody like you would in MMA. So it's just always interesting to see these MMA people change up their tactics and put their skills to use in wrestling.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job of, first of all, Shayna is apparently biting Becky on the neck. What's happening?
Yeah, that happened and made Becky bleed. Like, what was that? Might have been 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's intense.
That was very random. I was like, why they got her biting people?
Yeah.
Real. Yeah.
So, what you think?
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was a really good match and everything. I'm happy that Becky won. I thought that it was a really good match, and I thought the way they ended with Becky kind of falling over Shayna, like Shayna looked like she was about to make Becky submit, and then all of a sudden Becky fell over her and just won by, the greatest move of all time by a lot of people say, the surprise roll-up, right?
The most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
Exactly, the roll-up. But it was all good, because by doing that, you keep Shayna still looks strong, and Becky, obviously walks away with the belt. But definitely interested to see, what they're going to do. Like, I think like Avery said, they're going to kind of keep building this Becky and Shayna feud, because, like I said, Shayna can walk away saying, yo, I had you. You just got lucky. So they can definitely keep building that feud. But also kind of interested to see, and Abe, we'll dive, we'll obviously dive more into this. Just with Raw, as far as the women's division on Raw, is really Shayna, Becky, and I guess Asuka now if Kairi Sane leaves, but that's kind of it, right? You got Natalya, the OG, but that's
who's left on Raw? Natalya, all the girls from the all the women from the Riot Squad. I'm wondering if they'll probably still keep Rhea Ripley on NXT. I don't think she's going to get called up to Raw yet, but I know I'm probably missing some people. I'm definitely missing some people, but those are like the main people that have gotten pushed. And just to go back to this, I can see them probably doing this again, probably around SummerSlam, because I don't know what else they could really build up from that. Becky, to me, it seems like she's kind of lost some of her steam since she's won at last year's WrestleMania. Like, she's had some good feuds since then. But yeah, anyway, that was all right. Next up, we talked about this a little bit. Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Before we talk about the match, I want to get y'all opinion on what y'all think about how the new belt looks.
I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's very like new agey or whatever. Like I guess it's 2020. It doesn't need to look old, but I like the old fashioned look. I like the old fashioned look to the Intercontinental title, and then even how it looked during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. I like that design too. But this new one, it looks. It's the Intercontinental title. I feel like you want it to look really distinct and unique, and it does look distinct. It does look unique, but I don't know if it looks good. So that's kind of my opinion.
I have no opinion on it really. As somebody like doesn't follow it as close as you guys do, I'm kind of like, it's a belt, it's whatever. It didn't wow me, but I'm just like, it's whatever. It doesn't like stick in my mind like the Steve Austin's Flaming Skull belt, or the Brahma Bull belt, John Cena's spinning belt, Daniel Bryan's wood grain belt, stuff like that. Those just kind of stick. I guess they were so different. Those stick in my mind. But this one's kind of like whatever.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, but I definitely love the old school Intercontinental belt way better. I think this belt could have been a whole lot better if they put some blue in it, kind of like how the old one used to be, and they should have made the strap white to kind of like get it like different from everybody else. Black and gold is fine, but it's just like that just looks like another like championship belt. Like this is one of the Intercontinental Championship almost as close as much prestige to me as the WWE Championship, because that's the workers belt. Like you get that, you doing it every single day. But anyway, to the match, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. I think it could have been better. Probably without all the interference from Drew Gulak, Cesaro, and Sammy and Shinsuke. If they would have just given Daniel Bryan and Sammy like 20 minutes, just like do whatever, give all you want, because we know they put on top-notch matches before. I'm not mad at Sammy beating Bryan because I feel like they'll just bring this back up later on, especially like how it went, interference and stuff like that. I just hope that they can give more time and less outside interference to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Yeah, Sammy and Daniel, they're two of the best workers in the company and everything. And I know that they would have put on a great match, even, without all the outside interference. I thought we got to a point where we're like 5-6 minutes in the match, and it's like these boys, keep interfering, Cesaro and Shinsuke and Drew. And I'm just like, all right, now, Daniel and Sammy, they can go. They don't need all of this outside stuff, right? Yeah. So hopefully, down the line, we'll actually get a match where WWE just kind of lets them go at each other and just see who the better man is. And then if they want to throw in an interference at the end, cool. But at least like we got to see like them go at it and everything for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Talk to me, you guys, about the process of somebody going from face to heel or heel to face. Because the way I watch wrestling is, I usually watch the big pay-per-views. So I don't watch all the buildup of somebody transitioning from becoming a face to a heel. So like the last time I saw Daniel Bryan, was that last year when he lost to Kofi, when Kofi won the belt at WrestleMania? And he was a heel. So, and I know before he was a face, and he's part of the Yes movement, right? That's him, Yes?
That's him.
Yeah. So last time I saw him, he was a heel. But in this, I feel like he's kind of a good guy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The thing is with Daniel Bryan, it's like he's one of those guys that even when he was a heel, you still liked him. Like he's just like one of those guys. Like he's just a likable guy because he's only under 6 feet, under 200 pounds. We look at him and say, oh man, if he's doing this,
right.
I feel like I could too, right? But so he's one of those guys who's just likable. Eddie Guerrero had that appeal where no matter if he was a heel or a face, likable, man.
Even with as a bad guy, even with him as a bad guy, like Eddie's cool, man. I like him. Yeah.
Exactly. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, like with the heel face thing, Daniel basically turned face after he faced the Fiend, in which I think is goes to like the credit of Bray Wyatt. His whole thing is like when I face you, like I change you. because Bray had faced the Miz when the Miz was like a face. After he beat the Miz, it's like the Miz kind of turned like heel to it. But we'll get into Bray Wyatt later on. But yeah. Oh yeah, I already said myself about the match. But anyway, if that's all that for that, let's go to my basically my favorite match of the night. SmackDown Tag Team Championships ladder match. John Morrison versus Kofi Kingston versus Jimmy Uso. One of y'all start.
And so this was originally supposed to be a tag team, right? But the Miz got sick. And
yeah.
So they okay.
Yeah.
John Morrison. I've never heard of the guy before. I'm sure he's been around for a while, but this is he's new to me, and it is so incredible to see his athleticism, to be such a big guy, to walk on that tightrope and doing parkour stuff was sick. It was crazy seeing him flip around, hit those guys with the ladders. It's a testament to all those guys, to the way they can. And I always wonder like what the behind the scenes is of these. How do they practice these kind of moves and matches and stuff? Because they're always in the right place at the right time to break up a pin, or to stop somebody from getting a belt, or to jump back into the ring, or to jump out of the ring. It's very precise in how they move it. I think it's great. Yeah.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, John Morrison, he's been at it for since 05 Eminem debuted, right?
I think so. Well,
like the end of 05, right?
I know it's been a while, because I think how long has he been away from WWE? Because even when he wasn't in WWE, he was in TNA, and as Johnny Nitro. I forgot if he was in anything else. I don't know if he popped up in Ring of Honor or anything like that. But I mean, he didn't take a break, so he's still in good shape, and he had no ring rust. And ever since he's come back, he's had great matches, and this was definitely one of them. I think Kofi might have been the MVP of this match. To me, it seemed like he kind of led the pace for everything. But it's just like when you have workers like Jimmy and John, Kofi doesn't have to exactly do too much. And just shout out to these guys for working like there was hundreds of thousands of people in that center. When it was just it was amazing. I wish I could have seen a crowd react to that match, because they just put like their heart, body, and soul on the line. And honestly, going in, I'm not mad at the finish. All of them having their hands like on the title belt and stuff. All of a sudden, John is the one who gets it. He falls. Now Kofi and Jimmy are looking at each other like, what just happened? It was good. It was good. Whenever you have them, it's good.
Yeah, me personally, for the way a match will typically end, if it's not like a clean win for anybody, I think that was still a pretty good way to end a match, even though nobody won cleanly. I think that was an amicable way to end a match, and you still got a rivalry to set that up again with those three tag teams.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Next match we have. I'm laughing. They count this as a match. They said the 24/7 championship. We saw Mojo pin R-Truth to get out. I know Mojo's won it before. I can't keep track of how many times this title changed. I think they said R-Truth has had this for over like 30-something times. It's just
I forgot that Gronk was even hosting WrestleMania until this came back. I was like, oh, he's still a part of this. All right, sure, whatever, fine. That's. I want to know if Gronk is really going to like wrestle, or if he's just going to be doing stuff like this, like later on down the line, if he's really going to wrestle or what.
I don't think he'll be like every Raw or every SmackDown episode wrestler. They'll probably just save him for paper events to begin with. It's just a big name to bring in more views on the network. That's okay. How I feel about it. But if he does, props to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now after that, we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. I love the build up that they had towards this match. They've been doing this for months now. We already know Kevin Owens can put on a great show. Seth can put on a great show. Both of these guys, former NXT champions, former U.S. Universal champions, U.S. champions. I know Seth won the Intercontinental. Has Kevin Owens won the Intercontinental?
I think he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Has Kevin Owens won a tag team champ?
I think he won tag team. Not in WWE. He might have won an NXT, but not. Yeah.
Okay, then. But other than that, just think about the accolades these guys have done, and the show that they put on was great. I thought Seth coming in with the all white, this Monday Night Messiah, that was fire.
Yeah.
Kevin in all black was dope. Of course, the best spot to me, Kevin Owens throwing himself off of the doggone WrestleMania.
The WrestleMania sign was crazy. Yeah, that was cool.
It's like the spirit of Shane McMahon got into Kevin Owens and said, "Drop from just the highest thing that you see."
Yeah, that was wild. And I like this. This goes back to my point about there's no audience there because we got to hear that whole little dialogue of Seth Rollins trying to get disqualified on purpose with the bell.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear the back and forth, that intimate conversation between them and Kevin. Kevin's like, no, come back, let's do this for real. And it's almost like we had a round 2 or whatever of the match, which was great.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my favorite thing too. Cause I was like, dang man, is this match really gonna end with Seth hit him with the bell? Then when Kevin got on the mic, it was like, yo, nah, come back, let's finish this. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And like Avery said, the build to this match, they built it up for so long. Because if you guys remember, it really started back at Survivor Series with Seth, being the captain of Raw. And he was upset that Raw lost against Team SmackDown and everything. He's like, yo, that's what you guys doing. And then Kevin was like, yo, chill out. And then that led to Seth turning heel. He was sitting in the car. And then he just presented, like the AOP presented, Kevin to him. So great. So yeah, it's built towards, since then, and to the match now. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that match. And like Gabe said, like that spot where Kevin jumped off, landed the elbow, man, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. Just to finish that overall good match, I didn't necessarily think they had to do the disqualification at first. I feel like they should have just made it a no disqualification match from the get-go. That would have been fine. Probably could have put a little bit more in there, but overall I thought it was good. Next, after that match, we had Universal Universal Championship. It's the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, aka Oldberg.
I know.
I feel like he hadn't been like Goldberg in so long, man. And I would love to interview athletes general, like, why do you continue to do that? I guess you just love it. I don't know. But it's just like, when Goldberg first came out,
Michael.
Yeah, fair. You absolutely right.
Match, like.
Fair enough.
Vince got that pin to that check. Goldberg was just like, I think I'll do it one more time.
You're right, but it's just like, even when Goldberg first came to WCW and he was, had that monster streak of the spearing everybody, jackhammering and knocking them out, I don't think we recognize as a crowd that, this is cool that he just dominates people, but he really doesn't have any other moves. Like, that's it. And at the time, it seems cool, but now I kind of wish he had more stuff so that as he's an older wrestler, we get to see some other stuff besides just a jackhammer and a spear. And and we didn't even get a jackhammer now because he probably would have killed himself if he tried to jackhammer Braun Strowman.
I told Avery that, like, on Saturday, I was like, that's how I kind of knew Braun might have won, because I was like, he's not gonna be able to lift Braun. Look, Avery, you said it. He can barely lift Bray. So I mean, it just happens. Like, he's almost 50. So
he is 50. He's 53.
Oh, 53, exactly.
Yeah. It was crazy, and I guess they worked it the best they could. They pretended like he was gonna do it, and that Braun, reversed or whatever. So that was kind of a way to pretend like it would have almost happened. And somebody on Matt Fowler, an editor for IGN who always does their wrestling stuff, he brought up the fact that he wonders if, since it is pre-taped, I wonder if they had tried to do that move several times before and like, no, this move ain't gonna work. So let's just go ahead and come up with another way around it. I don't know.
They might have. Yeah, I don't think that too.
They probably gave that one try and Goldberg was just like, nah, just buy Sammy Bray. We get this over with. Yeah, back to the crib. Yeah. So I mean, I'm happy for Bray that he won. Like I said before, all Bray needs now is just
Braun.
I'm trying to think not Bray, Braun, to be a Grand Slam champ. Well, you know what? I'm trying to think. Is a Grand Slam champion when you win both mid-card titles, or all you have to do is just win one mid-card title?
Triple Crown is winning one
3
mid-card title, but to be a Grand Slam, you gotta win them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. I'm happy for Braun. He's Universal Champion. I mean, I feel like he's only going to be that way until Roman comes back. Roman feels like everything is safe, which we don't know how long it's going to be. But after that match comes one of the greatest spectacles I've ever seen in my life.
This is wild.
This
is crazy.
Versus AJ Styles, Boneyard match. Chandler, I'll let you start it off.
Oh man, yeah, this thing was great from the start. You know, from AJ coming in the van with the Undertaker's music playing. You know, and we were kind of talking about this. It was just like, yo, is Undertaker really gonna come in like this? You know, in a van and everything? Come on, man, you got to feel like you do something better than that. And then when AJ popped out that casket, and then they don't want none came on, I was like, oh snap, it's gonna be good. It's literally from there you knew, okay, this is gonna be good. And then, man, when AJ was just talking, next thing you know, you just heard a bike. Bike came. Undertaker came off it with a bandana. You know, it was great, man. It was wonderful, you know, that entrance. Michael, you going to say something?
Well, yeah, question for you guys then. So, again, me not following as closely as you guys. So the last time you saw Undertaker, was he Dead Man Undertaker?
Yeah.
Okay. Because to me, I guess that probably would be a big reveal if you had seen him as being Dead Man Undertaker the entire time, and now he's back to being American Badass. That's probably a cool. Because to me, I thought it was cool that he came in on the motorcycle, but it probably didn't hit me as much because I hadn't seen him back in his previous persona. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think
people were hoping that he would come back as biker taker, as some people like to call him. I loved as when he showed up on that Raw. Might have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where he didn't have a long coat or the jacket. All he had was the wrap on his head, like he had his sleeves down and stuff. I said, "Oh snap!
Yeah,
you might get Taker back on the bike at WrestleMania." I was happy for it. Seeing him, I forgot how good of a trash talker Undertaker.
Exactly, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
like we seen Undertaker cut promos before, and as the Dead Man, which is cool. Like, I'm digging graves, I'm like burying souls and stuff. But him talking trash to AJ throughout this whole thing was just hilarious. He was like, "What's my wife's name?" He's like, "I'm an old man, huh?" He's like, "You wanted this, AJ?" And right before he was about to bury AJ, and he was just like, "I ain't gonna bury you. You put up a heck of a fight. I'm proud of you." It was just the best. Him beating AJ up, beating Gallows and Anderson, beating the Druids that came out of nowhere. It felt like I was watching a video game or something, just different levels to the boss music. I loved it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
We all understand that Undertaker has gotten up there in age. Honestly, doing the cinematic fights like this, you could at least have 5 more big matches from Undertaker just like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm so glad they did it like this because, like you said, we all know Undertaker's not what he used to be 10, 20 years ago. We know he's not that guy anymore, right? But he can still entertain. And then, also doing this, you're kind of keeping them safe. You're keeping them in a safe environment and everything. And then you're protecting that legacy and that mystique of the Undertaker. Not only Dead Man Undertaker, but now, as we saw, Undertaker still got some knocking him too. So, yeah.
He put that bandana on. It's crazy.
So we talked about Bill Goldberg being 53 years old. Undertaker is 2 years older, but he still looked better in this match because of them pre-taping it and cutting it away. and not making it a traditional match, he was able to keep up, or at least it made it seem like he could keep up with AJ Styles, you know, in terms of the endurance or whatnot. So I think that was a great call, and having all these cutaways. We had the one shot where AJ thought the man was buried in the grave and he came up behind him. I was like, yes, this is great.
Yeah,
really cool.
that was dope. Him come behind him like that. He was just like, oh, please don't bury me. He grabbed him so quick off that tractor. Oh, like it was dope. AJ sold everything great. Straight with trash talking. I don't think this made AJ look like weak at all or anything, because he was still able to put up like a fight. When he got thrown off the roof, Undertaker, I was just like, oh my back. I know he was in pain. I don't care how much padding that looked like it hurt. But overall, man, it was just great. That's story-wise and match-wise, that's one of the best things we've seen. And just think about like AJ Styles, like TNA home and grown, now basically was like a main event in a WrestleMania in the WWE. It's wild, man. It's just crazy how things come together. But
I'm pretty sure, and I said this on Twitter, but I'll say it here again, we all just witnessed a murder, right?
I mean,
he put him in the grave, and his tombstone said 2020.
Yeah,
it's like it said AJ Styles 20. He did. So I just said the WWE universe witnessed a murder, and we cool with it. But it's cool.
I mean,
he gonna be on Raw tonight. It's all good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm low key watching Raw right now just to see what happened, and just for like in real time or whatever. They're doing Street Profits versus Angel Garza and old boy again. But rest in peace AJ Styles, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the whole combination of night one. WrestleMania was dope. It was lit. I thought they did their best with what they had to work with. Now to night two, opening match. We have Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh, before that, you had did you see the kickoff match or no?
Oh, you know I didn't see. What was the kickoff match?
Natalya and Liv.
Oh yeah. Liv won, ain't it?
Yeah, Liv ended up winning, which I'm glad because you know, like I said, Natalya, she's kind of like the OG and everything. You know, she didn't really need to beat Liv, who's kind of up and coming and everything. So it was nice that they got her a little WrestleMania win.
Yeah.
Now
is she one of the one of the trainees who worked with like Bret Hart and stuff, Natalya?
She's Bret Hart's niece, right?
Niece, yeah. She's the Anvil Neidhart's daughter.
Neidhart.
Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, shout out to Liv for winning that. I just think about that, like Liv was supposed to have this real big comeback, but it just got involved with the whole Lana Lashley Rusev story, which didn't really do anything. I think. But speaking of Bobby Lashley, that was the next match. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. I didn't see it. I've hated Bobby Lashley's return basically ever since he's came back to the WWE. I think what the go-to should have been him versus Brock Lesnar as soon as he got back, but that didn't happen. I don't even know how Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley even came about. But yeah. Well, on it.
Lana is married to Lashley in real life or just in wrestling?
She's married to Rusev in real life. She's married to Lashley in wrestling.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Wrestling. All right, that's fair.
Yeah. Aleister Black, man. I want more for Aleister, man. He's had so much great stuff for him in NXT. For him basically being on, I'm glad he's at WrestleMania now. This isn't his first WrestleMania though. He had that team.
I think he might have been in like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but like this, I think this was his first match because I don't think he fought last year.
No, I think this is his first solo match because remember that might have been 2 WrestleManias ago. Remember him and Ricochet were in that tag team match for I think it was the Raw Tag Team Championship. that was that weekend they popped up on NXT that week. They were on that takeover that weekend too, and they popped up on WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that was 2018.
Yeah.
But Aleister Black won. Cool for him. They probably do that match again. So whatever.
Yeah.
Next, we had Otis versus Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, wait. You skipped the match. You skipped Rhea Ripley and Charlotte.
Oh wait,
Dang,
I'm sorry. I thought that was
Because that happened. That was the first match of WrestleMania.
Oh, you know what? It sure was. My bad, y'all. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's go
And
back to that.
that match was great.
Yeah,
I really liked that match.
I didn't catch all of it, but I saw a good bit of it. Them girls women put on a great show, honestly. And I didn't catch it until somebody pointed it out on Twitter. Basically, Rhea Ripley was dressed up as Vegeta. Did y'all see that?
She was.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what okay.
And
That's tough.
because she had the golden top with the white top, blue pants with the white boots. I saw that. I said, "Oh, that joint was hard."
So is that something that Xavier Woods kind of started, like bringing in pop culture stuff to wrestling, or were they doing that before?
I'm trying to think.
But before Rey Mysterio, like back in the day during Ruthless Aggression, he would dress up as Daredevil, the Flash. God done it in the past too, but to my memory, Rey was like the first one that I saw. That But that's tough. I think that's first Dragon Ball Z one. That's tough.
Yeah, I love when they cosplay.
So before Rhea Ripley got the look she has now, I guess they were kind of showing some promos of saying that she looked like Charlotte Flair in terms of her outfit. And she did. I thought that was interesting. I don't know how long she's had this persona of like the black and the extreme, but she kind of had a different look where she had like, I guess, a red costume or whatever. And she kind of had a Charlotte Flair look about it. I just thought that was interesting to see the way these wrestlers, do their different. Yeah.
I can see that being like, it's almost like Charlotte is facing like a younger version of herself, like with like size, built wise, like the hunger and everything. I thought, of course, when you involve Charlotte Flair, especially in a championship match in WrestleMania, it's going to be a great match. She's going to give her it all. Rhea Ripley, I thought this was going to be her shining moment. I was kind of torn because I was just like, I know they didn't have Charlotte win the Royal Rumble just to lose to Ripley, like at WrestleMania. But now I was just like, well, they just gave Rhea the title. They probably want to give her that push and put her over and beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. But now, Charlotte defeated Rhea, and now I'm just like, I'm not mad at it because now we got Charlotte on NXT, and then that means Charlotte's going to be on takeovers, and that's going to be lit.
So the question I have then is, because NXT was always seen as kind of like the lesser brand, right, between Raw and SmackDown, and then I guess
developmental.
Right, and then they had a big presence. Was that WrestleMania where we saw where it was the three brands? Was it WrestleMania? Survivor Series, and it kind of elevated now. So are they like muddying the waters of kind of making all three brands on the same level, or no?
I think basically, now they're kind of starting to be like, okay, NXT, they're kind of our most entertaining brand from what a lot of people are saying, on the internet and everything. So let's try to make NXT a really, really big deal. I think that's why Finn went back there, and then obviously now with Charlotte winning the belt. So I think they're trying to really make that a solid third brand, not just a developmental.
Okay.
Yeah, but going into the match, just to go into it, I really enjoyed it. It was really entertaining. Like Abe said, you could tell like these women, like they really, really went at it, and they really, inflicted pain on one another, and it was really entertaining. As far as the finish, I would have really enjoyed it if Rhea would have got the win. But like Abe said, why would they let Charlotte win her first Royal Rumble just to lose the title they lose the title match to Rhea at WrestleMania. But I thought, okay, you could build Rhea up, she'll be a solid star, defeating Charlotte freaking Flair on the grandest stage of them all. I thought that would really help her out and help her push out. But that didn't happen. But good thing is, now we got a solid feud that we could build on in NXT. And, you never know. Maybe Rhea will win Money in the Bank and, we could see something like that, which would be really cool. Because I don't think an NXT, superstars ever won it. So that would be interesting. So really interested to see what they'll do with it.
I didn't even think about that. That would be good if, she wins Money in the Bank and goes back to like trying to fight for the NXT Women's Championship. And not only baits like the importance of the NXT Women's title, also pushes the importance of NXT as a show. And just to get off track, kind of still speaking about that, I feel like when it comes to Money in the Bank, it might be Rhea winning, then going for the NXT title. I could see, we'll talk about this later, Sasha winning and going for that SmackDown Women's Championship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Charlotte defeats Rhea. Then we had Aleister Black defeats Bobby Lashley. Now we get to Otis versus Dolph Ziggler.
What is this?
Man, listen. This is one of the best told stories and most consistent stories that WWE's got going for them right now, man.
A Beauty and the Beast match? Like, what is this? This is crazy, man. Okay, great. Whatever. It's fine.
I love it. Yeah, man. I don't know why Otis is so lovable, man. Maybe it's like that underdog story, man. But yeah, like Abe said, it's literally the best story they got going. The Lana Rusev Bobby thing that fell apart, but the Otis, Mandy, and Dolph Ziggler, and then Sonya Deville coming into it later on. That dynamic has been really, really great. And the match was really good. When Mandy came out, I think, everybody just, clapped, at home and everything watching because it was like, oh man, yay. And then, they kissed and it was like, okay, all right, Otis.
That is kiss. Otis is in there. I was thinking, I was like, dang, like this. Otis has something about him that the crowd really loves. I don't know if it's just him being like authentic or we just like he's just so entertaining. We just feel like he's trying to entertain us. He's not bad in the ring, especially like for his size. Dolph is always a good opponent because Dolph can sell. Dolph knows how to like work a match. Dolph's athletic, so all that stuff. And when you put the stuff with like Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, like it kind of sucks now that they like aren't a tag team because I would have liked to see them win the belts, like the tag team belts, like sooner than later. Obviously now, but I'm happy for Otis winning, him picking Mandy up, getting the kiss. That's a big WrestleMania moment. I wish that's one of the real matches I wish a crowd was there for.
Exactly.
Well, if we're done with that, okay, Edge versus Randy Orton. And what they call the last man standing match, which should have been a Performance Center tour match because they went all around that building.
And what kind of building is that they got like wire grate on top of something for somebody to jump off of? Like, did y'all see that in the one room where like there was a big board table? They have like I don't know if that's a lighting rig or something. That just seemed weird to be.
I think it was a light, yeah, but it's just like Ed's about 230 pounds now. I mean, he ain't no light dude, so it's just like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I feel like I understand. Okay, you want a good storytelling match. What Randy Orton has done to Edge and his wife, Beth Phoenix. Punishment needs to take place. A beating needs to take place, and anything and everything that you see around can get used. That's like if me and Chandler having a match at WLTX. We're gonna go to the bridge over here. I'm gonna slam him on the table and then get this light that's hanging right there, jump from off of it with an elbow, and then toss him over the rail over there, man. Like it was just that match. It was crazy. I'm happy Edge is back. I don't know if I just wanted more from this match, or not, especially not time wise. This match went way too long for me. It should have been no longer than 25 to me. Yeah. I mean, I understand there's a lot of walking and stuff, but come on, y'all, this should have been pre-tape. You could cut and edit that out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of like, dang, man, they might have went on for like 60 minutes, without the editing. But yeah, the length it could have been about 10 minutes shorter. And I would have liked at the end, maybe this is just, I mean, I'm not violent or anything like that, but it's just like it would have been really cool if like Edge would have just, really, he just did the concerto once, but if he would have did like twice or three times,
trying to get Randy Brain, damn it.
I know, no, man. I mean, they hit the chair. We all know that. But like, it just to really sell like, yo, it's over. I'm trying to finish this. That would have been cool rather than. And I thought he kind of held the chair for a really long time. It was like, yo, man, you gonna hit him? But yeah, I thought the link it was a little long. But overall storytelling wise, it was a good way to close the book on. And then you had Edge at the end looking at him kind of crying. And I guess that's why he didn't do, the Stone Cold on the Rock at WrestleMania 17. I guess that's why he didn't do that, because it was just kind of, in a way, storytelling wise, it looked like he didn't want to do it, but he knew, okay, I got to finish this. And yeah, so I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Going past that, happy for Edge that he's back. Also, if y'all haven't seen it, the Edge 24 episode on WWE Network is good. It's good. Like, you should see it. Okay. Yeah. After this, we got Raw Tag Team Championship. The Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. I didn't catch all of this match, but some of the spots that I did see, it looked real good. I know both teams are going to put on great performances. I'm happy that the Street Profits retained, and I'm also happy that Bianca Belair came in to take on Zelina. Well, I mean, not really take on Zelina, but kind of interfere so Zelina would stop interfering, and they won that way.
So, Bianca Belair, is that the one who went to USC as a track star for a little bit?
Hold on, let me see.
I thought I remember that because I remember it was me, you, and Erskine talking on another wrestling thing. And I thought he brought up somebody who actually went to USC as a track star for a little bit. I can't remember if it was her. But yeah, it was cool to see her come in and do her thing, because that little braid thing that she has it's just a cool thing. I like that. Like, that's just like her prop to do in her dance. I like that. And she's married to one of the Street Profits in real life, right?
Yeah, Montez Ford.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to answer your question, Michael, she says here that she attended. Initially, she went to the University of South Carolina and everything, but she ultimately transferred to the University of Tennessee and everything. But yeah, definitely, she got South Carolina ties. So we
cool.
still claim her, even though she transferred. Yeah.
For real. It was nice for me to see the Street Profit, because I had said this to Avery before. I thought those guys were fun and entertaining, but I'd never really seen them wrestle in anything. So I think this might be my first match I've ever seen them wrestle together, and I thought they did a good job, the Street Profits. Yeah,
they did. Yeah.
All right, so done with that one. Now, SmackDown's Women's Championship. Fatal elimination match. We have Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina versus Naomi. What y'all think about this?
This was a good show of athleticism at the very beginning of it, where they each kind of did a move and they leapfrogged over each other and they kind of reversed each other. It was a cool setup to see everybody do a move on each other, and it kind of, I guess, dominoed effect into every other wrestler. I thought that was really cool. I like this storyline again. Of the parts whenever I watch wrestling, I'm kind of keeping up with the storyline of Sasha and Bayley are best friends, but it seems like eventually they're going to have some sort of split, because Sasha wants that title. She wants to be number one. And I feel like they're slowly setting up the seeds of the descent of them, not being able to work together. So I like how this match went. I guess Lacey Evans is a real life Marine, or she was a real life Marine.
She was, yeah.
And what does she have? The woman's right? Is that her name? Her finisher?
Yeah, was it just right hook, right?
Yeah, that thing tough.
I don't know how they sold this move, but I'm pretty sure she like destroyed Sasha Banks' soul when she hit her with that. It was such a loud noise in the empty stadium. It was wild.
Same thing. I don't know how they sell it to the point where it's like, yo, what in the world? Like, did she really break, her jaw? But yeah, I enjoyed this match. Like Michael was saying, the storytelling between Bayley and Sasha, continuing to build that feud up. Well, just that story up. It's not necessarily a feud yet, but to build that story up, it's really cool dynamic. I thought they were able to kind of let each wrestler, shine in the match, which is always great. That was kind of the problem with the Elimination Chamber match with the Raw, with Raw, like last month and everything, with Shayna winning, because it was just kind of like, well, Shayna came and eliminated everybody. No one really got to shine, but this match, it was really cool that a lot of the female wrestlers got a chance to shine in it. So yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, overall great match. I kind of saw everybody ganging up on Tamina to pin her, to eliminate her. I was kind of rooting for either Naomi or Sasha to win. I do like the storytelling of, Sasha Banks is helping out her friend, and now it seems like Sasha Banks is the one that's taking a step back and like letting Bayley get the limelight instead of how it usually is like the other way around. But like I said, I feel like that feud is coming where we're gonna get Sasha versus Bayley, maybe possibly at SummerSlam. That would be a great match to see.
Or Money in the Bank, like you were saying, with Sasha winning Money in the Bank, we never know. But I think they would want to build that up for a Big Four pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. Okay. Any other thoughts on that one, or good?
That Firefly. That Firefly.
What's next?
Man, this was so. It was interesting to just talk, man. I don't even know what to say.
John Cena versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt in a Firefly Funhouse match. We couldn't even talk about any other WrestleMania match. If we just talked about this for the whole time, I would have been fine with it. I love every second and every moment of this match. It was just crazy. The mind that Bray Wyatt has, and whoever helped him like create this stuff too, is genius. First, starting off with John just casually walking out, because we didn't know exactly how they were going to do it. So when he's coming to the ring, we may be thinking, okay, maybe they'll start to the ring and maybe they work their way back to the Fire Funhouse, but then it just cuts. And then all of a sudden we see Bray in the Fire Funhouse, which he's kind of like cutting a promo in. Then he walks through the door. John Cena just randomly pops up. And now like the puppets are talking to John. John's just like, okay, I guess I'll follow it. And then you had the Vince McMahon puppet pop up.
Yeah.
John. Oh my gosh. Bro.
And I'm pretty sure that was Vince's voice, right? It sounded like him.
Yeah, I think it might have started off with Bray voice, but when they got to Vince at the at like the announcers table, I think that was when Vince talked.
Yeah.
And to Vince actually like to go with this, to give this the green light, I was just like, okay, Vince, like you haven't lost all your sanity, because this was such good.
I know.
Right. Yeah, that was wild.
But just the timeline that this match broke down into, from John, like the callback of Bray being like Kurt Angle calling John back out, and John actually coming out with like the old ring gear and like the challenge, and then just him saying ruthless aggression and just swiping and missing.
And missing, yeah.
And then like Bray was just like, you can look, but you can't touch. Like the Bella's theme song to John. I was like, oh, snap, he going there.
So it seems like you guys probably definitely got more out of this match than me. It was entertaining to me, but I'm sure there was a bunch of Easter eggs that you guys noticed that I wouldn't even notice, because it seemed like it touched on so many eras of wrestling. They had NWO in there, right?
Yeah.
Which was crazy. And I guess Bray was being Eric Bischoff. Yeah, exactly. Had Bray being Eric Bischoff or something like that.
Yeah, because it was just like, to me, like the symbolism I got from it was John's being like Hollywood Hogan, because John Cena's basically left the WWE and he's gone Hollywood. So that was kind of like the thing with that. And I guess just the NWO being such a big thing, and now John Cena's at that level where he's such a big thing as well. That's kind of where it took part in. But I'm trying to think if it was before that, when he went back to the Thugonomics. Was that before or after? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but,
that was before. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing him in the Thugonomics like outfit and hearing that music brought back such nostalgia. Greatest WrestleMania return ever is the SmackDown fist from the Ruthless Aggression era.
That was great. Yeah.
I saw that big silver fist. I said, "Oh, SmackDown versus Raw all over again. SmackDown, shut your mouth. SmackDown, here comes the pain." I felt like a little kid all over again. And I think the right call was made for Bray to beat John. He beat John into non-existence.
Yes, he disappeared. So AJ Styles is dead and John Cena no longer exists.
John Cena's somewhere in the shadow realm right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it was mind-boggling. Yeah, I'll go ahead. That's how I say about it.
Yeah. The match was amazing. Yeah, I don't know if we want to call it a match more so than just great theater in a way, but yeah, it was really amazing. Like Abe was saying, the storytelling and it going back to the Ruthless Aggression, the look but you can't touch theme with the Barbellas and everything, but also Bray was like telling John like, oh man, we're reliving your biggest failure and everything.
It was very meta, right? For them to comment on wrestling overall as a product and as a brand. And it from what I gather, it always seemed like Vince has always been this very protective person and not letting people into the business so much. So for him to let this be approved, to give this a green light, says a lot about, I guess, like you said, Vince hasn't lost all his sanity. And I wonder if that is because of his son-in-law, Triple H now, kind of been like, Vince, this is kind of where wrestling is going. We can't continue the same stuff. And I think this was a nice product of Vince being like, okay, let's try something new. And I think it worked.
Yeah, that absolutely worked, man. I loved it. This and the Boneyard match has really made me understand and believe that pre-taping stuff like this for like big pay-per-view events is something that needs to happen more. Especially if, things continue like this, where we're not going to have crowds and stuff like that. I'm not saying it has to happen with every match or every show, but this needs to pop up more often.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, all right. Now after this,
we get to this turd.
WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. What y'all thought?
I liked it. Mike, I'm going to go ahead on this.
I wish they had flipped it like they did with. I like that night one ended with the Boneyard match and not with the Strowman and Goldberg match. I like that it ended that way, and I feel like they should have done the same thing here and end with the Firefly match, because this match was just kind of like it was just a. Is that fun to you guys, just to see a finisher match where people just keep doing finishers on each other? I'm like I don't know.
No, but I wasn't mad at it because I got what I needed from the rest of the matches on the card. The main thing is that Drew won, so I was happy with that. And not just like, I didn't think they were going to do something where Drew just hit like one finisher and then now it's over. But with Brock doing his finishers on Drew a couple times and not getting them, I was just like, oh snap. And then when Drew hit some of his, I was just like, okay, he's really like, he's taking it to Brock. I wasn't expecting it to be a long match at all. I'm happy Drew won. And I think officially now this is the first UK WWE championship.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Which is to me a really big deal. And I'm happy for Drew. I am. So I think now he's, what's the thing, Chandler? He's not a Grand Slam, but he's a Triple Crown now, or is it? He's
Triple Crown, yeah, because he won. He won tag team with Dolph Ziggler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's Triple Crown now. And yeah, I'm happy for Drew too. But like Michael, kind of like you were saying, yeah, it would have been cool if they would have ended it with the Firefly Funhouse and everything. But I think they really wanted Drew to get that WrestleMania moment and everything, because if you follow Drew's career and everything, you know that he came in, back in like 08, 09, kind of as Vince McMahon's chosen one and everything. He didn't really live up to that. He got released in like 2014, 2015, went to the independent circuit, really killed it there. Not only transformed his character, but he transformed his entire body and everything. Really looked like a real, bad dude in the ring. Like he always had the height and everything, but then he went, in the independent circuit and just really worked on his craft and his talking and, in his body and everything. And to see him come back and ultimately, win the WWE Championship. It's kind of cool that it's the WWE Championship and not the Universal Championship. No disrespect to Universal, but it's like, we all know that real brass ring is the WWE Championship. So it was cool to see him win that. And even though it was a finisher match and everything, it was still cool just to see him get that moment. Wish it would have been in front of an audience, obviously, but it was still cool to see him, in with the title in his hand, WrestleMania logo behind him. But would have been cool too if, and probably cooler if the Fiend would have just ended in the ring from the Firefly Funhouse, and then that'd be the end of Mania.
Yeah, I think the only reason they did that was just not to copy their first night, and plus they wanted to make sure that the WWE title was, still looked at as like this is the grand prize. We can't give Drew a crowd, so we'll give him the main event, which I was fine with. I'm just hoping they give Drew good opponents for this now, and I'm just trying to think who does Drew basically face after this, because I don't want it to go. Yeah, Seth will give him a good run. I kind of want somebody new though for the title picture, because Seth has always been like the person in the title picture, and I understand why, because he gives great matches, he can give great promos, and he's a main eventer. I just kind of want it to be somebody new before they go right to Seth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, just think if Aleister Black or Andrade or heck, even with Ricochet, because Ricochet, him and Drew worked together to take out Brock Lesnar back at the Royal Rumble, so they can go back to that as kind of like some storyline they build up on. But yeah, either way, I'm happy that Drew won it. I hope he has a good run with it.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah.
All right.
WrestleMania 1 Part 2, man.
Yeah. We've been talking for like an hour and 18 minutes here. So I still got to finish up the 11 o'clock show. So
I still got to finish up this package. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I need that in my show. So y'all got any closing comments?
Y'all getting some behind the scenes stuff now, y'all.
Yeah. Y'all got any closing thoughts? I mean, I enjoyed it. It was I think you guys have said it throughout this entire review. They did the best they could with what they had. It was definitely enjoyable. It was weird at first, but I got over that and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't wait to see how they follow this up. I'm watching Raw right now to see.
Okay. Chandler, closing thoughts?
Like I said, about 4 out of 5, and just excited to see what's going to happen on Raw, happen on NXT, and happen on SmackDown. Okay.
So that's it for us. You can always like, comment, subscribe on these videos. You can always find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WRTX.com, and we're out.
News 19 nerds for life.